Okay, well, hi guys. It's me, Alexis Wazuna. Y'all might know me as Mommy Alexis from Instagram. Um, so, as y'all know from the caption, this is gonna be my Q&A based off of my labor and pregnancy. So, I had 16 questions. Y'all asked a lot of questions, but I had to like combine some of the questions because a lot of them weren't really asking like more majority like the same theme, different wording, so I just combined the questions. Number one, how did I find out I was pregnant? So, I found out I was pregnant because back in June, I had just graduated and I was on this like strict, like every day I would go running in the morning, every morning. And I had got my parents to start going with me, and well, it was like later in the month I started to push myself harder and harder, and I threw up one day, and I thought it was just because I was pushing myself really hard. Then the next day I threw up, and my mom was like, "You better not be pregnant." And I was like, "God, please don't let me be pregnant." Like I was scared, like, so I was like, maybe I'll go away, maybe I'll go away. Then the next day I threw up again, and my mom was like, you need to get birth control, you need to get a test, like a pregnancy test. Sure enough, that night I went home, my boyfriend came with me and he bought a pregnancy test, and I took the test and it was positive. And that leads us into the second question. So, how did me and my boyfriend react to me being pregnant? Well, it was scary. I was crying, I was bawling, I was so scared. Like, I had barely graduated high school, and I was just like, what did I do? Like, I was so sad, and I made him sad, and I was scaring him. I was like, what are we gonna do? We barely graduated. I'm barely going to college. Like, how are we gonna do this? I don't know if we can do this. And we were just crying in my room, hugging each other, like just bawling our eyes out. And then, well, of course, that leads to the next question. Was she planned? No, she was not planned. What was your family's reaction? Well, my family, I was really scared to tell. I hid it until I was 4 months. And then one day, I had a movie night. There was a movie night here, and we have like this like projector in the back and everything. It was for, we watched Hocus Pocus. It was during like Halloween season, and October, of course. And well, we came inside, and everybody was spread out, somewhere in the living room, somewhere in the kitchen. And me and my mom went to the kitchen, and I was wearing this skin tight like pajama that like shows my bum, but I had a jacket over it the whole time. And at the end of the movie, the Hocus Pocus finishes, we all go inside, we're about to get some food, and my mom's calling everybody to the kitchen, and I'm getting ready to tell everybody. And my mom's like, everybody come to the kitchen, everybody come to the kitchen. And my uncle just goes, I don't want to. I'm already sitting down. He's in the living room. And my mom's like, well, we have to tell you something. And he goes, who's pregnant? And my mom she like pauses and she's like, Lexi. And I just unzip my jacket and everybody looks at me and they're like, oh. And my heart like dropped. Like, I was so scared that they were gonna be like, what the heck? Like, how could you do this? Like, I was so scared that they were gonna be mad at me. Like, my cousins, my close cousins, and my aunts, and my close uncles, all of them were there, and I was so scared that they were gonna be disappointed in me. But it was not the reaction I was expecting at all. They were so happy for me, and they were hugging me, and they were crying, and they were just like, oh my God, they were touching my belly. Like, it was just everything that I would have hoped happened, it happened. But even though I was prepared for the worst. But yeah, it was so like, what is the word? Not the word. It's so relieving, the reaction, like, to know that they have my back. Okay, so the next question. how did people react to me being pregnant, and were you looked at different? Well, when I posted me being pregnant, I got a lot of congratulations, yes, but one thing was that I got some, like, I don't want to say a lot of hate, but I lost a lot of followers, and there was a lot of negative comments saying like, oh, you ruined your life, like, how could you do this to yourself, like, why did you ruin your body, why did you ruin your life, you're not gonna be able to do anything, you're gonna drop out of college, like this and that. And I know I shouldn't have let it get to me, but it did. Like, when you're pregnant, you're emotional, and like I was emotional times 100. Like, I was so sad. Like, I would get so sad, and I would cry to my boyfriend. He would tell me like, why does it matter what they think, like, it shouldn't matter what they think. And I was like, I know, but it just hurts my feelings, because it's just sad. Like, it's supposed to be a happy time, and for people to just like rain on your parade like that, like, I know I shouldn't let it get to me, but I did. And then I finally got over it. Let's see. Oh, there was this one time where I was at work, and this lady, she was an older lady, an older Mexican lady, and I was already, what, 8 months with my belly out and everything, and she just looks at me, and she looks down, she looks at my belly, and she looks back at me, and she's like, how old are you? And I paused, and I was like, I'm 18. Like, I know, I felt the judgment coming from her. Like, I already knew she was gonna say something. And she goes, cochina. Dude, I didn't know what to do. I just started laughing. Like, I burst out laughing. Because, like, this older lady that I don't know what, like, just a random lady, she just comes to me, she calls me a cochina. Like, I didn't know what to say, so I just started laughing, and I told my manager, and we just started laughing, and I just left it alone. Like, she walked away, she went to go eat, whatever. But I could not believe that. That was like the worst reaction I got into me being pregnant. Other than that, I would get a lot of smiles. A lot of people would come up to me and say, oh my God, you're so pretty. Like, pregnancy is so pretty on you. Like, this and that. Next question. Where did you get your clothes? So, I'm going to make this fast and simple. All my clothes were not maternity. I only had one pair of maternity pants. All my clothes were just small and extra stretchy, or like stretchy clothes. I would get a medium, but majority they were my small size. And I would just use a lot of my dresses. For work pants, if you need work pants, I wouldn't recommend getting maternity pants, just because I don't like the way they feel. Like, they're just uncomfortable to me. So I got jeggings from Walmart. So yeah, that's where I got all my maternity clothes. What's it like going to school while pregnant? So going to school while pregnant was it wasn't hard. The hard part was that I was so tired, and I had school. I go to college. So I had full-time classes. I went to school from Monday through Thursday, and I had 2 classes each day. Well, on Monday and Wednesday, I went to school from 7 to, I think, 12, and I had like a gap between classes. And during that gap, I would literally sleep in the library. Like, I was so tired. I would sleep in the library every Monday and Wednesday. Or this one time, I was so tired that I fell asleep on a bench outside. Like, it was bad. But keep in mind, like, during this first like couple of months, like, I was hiding my pregnancy, so I would always just wear big t-shirts and just sweats. Like, I did not give a crap about anything. I was so tired my first semester of college. So it wasn't hard like going to classes. Like, doing the work and everything was okay. It's just you had to overcome how tired you were, and the sickness. Like, I would throw up all the time during my first trimester, and during my second and third trimester, I didn't really have a lot of sickness. I was just fine. I was eating a lot. But during my first trimester, I do remember throwing up a lot. I threw up so much that at work, when I was hiding it, my best friend had to tell people that I had a disease and that I was sick, because people started asking me if I was pregnant and I was hiding it and I didn't want them to know, and she was covering my back. So she a real one. Shout out Cassie, because I don't know what I was gonna tell them. Like, it was bad. So when she told people I had a disease, like, they stopped asking me if I was pregnant. Anyways, that's another story. How did your body change during pregnancy, and how did you feel about this? So during my first trimester, of course, you have like the body where you're barely gaining weight. I barely started showing when I was like 4 months. Reasons why I came out like about being pregnant. What's wrong? Yeah, so reasons why I came out about being pregnant is because I started showing already. So it was this awkward stage where you couldn't tell if I was pregnant or if I was just like gaining weight. A lot of my coworkers thought I was just getting fat, and I knew this, so it made me sad. And so it made me sad, but the more I started to embrace it and started to embrace my bump that was coming in and growing, the more I started to like love myself more. I started to love the pregnancy more. I let myself be happy. So you just have to embrace it, because being pregnant is a beautiful thing. It's really a good time. You get to eat whatever you want. You get to be emotional as you want, and nobody can tell you anything, because who wants to get mad at a pregnant girl? Nobody. Because she will come at you, I promise you. So yeah, like, my belly started to get bigger. I started to gain weight in my legs. My feet started to get chunkier. I gained a lot of weight, but my last trimester is when I gained the most weight. My feet were huge, like, they were the biggest I've ever like had, and my shoes were so tight, and my face got chunky, and it was just, I felt I was literally wobbling around everywhere. I was 118 pounds when I had found out I was pregnant, and at the end of my pregnancy I was 180 pounds. Yeah, 180 pounds. So I was a big girl. Like, huge. But it's okay. Next question. Okay, so now we're getting into labor. So, was labor painful? Of course it was. Did I get the epidural? Yes, I did. I got the epidural. So basically, I'm gonna tell my whole labor story. I had chosen to be induced on her due date, because when I had went to the checkup right before the week that she was supposed to be due, I was only 1 centimeter. I was only 1 centimeter dilated, and I was like, dude, she's not gonna want to come out anytime soon. So so going to the doctors, I was like, they asked me, do you want to be induced or do you want to just wait? I was like, no, I want to be induced, because at the time, it was before Corona. It was March, I want to say March 2nd, I don't know, something like that. Well, I was like, no, I want to be induced because it's gonna be spring break. I can have her during spring break, and then I'll only take off 1 week of school, and then I'll go back the next week. And well, we're not going back to school now because of Corona, but that's a different story. So I was like, I'll be induced. So I chose to be induced. I was induced March 12th, and I had got to the doctor's March 11th. They had kept me overnight. They put Pitocin in me so my cervix can get thinner and get me ready for labor. Well, they put the Pitocin in me. I was asleep all night. Well, not asleep, but the doctor and nurse kept walking in, but it's okay. They were just checking on me. And then 6 in the morning, my doctor comes in and she breaks my water for me, because I was already 3 centimeters dilated by the end of the night at 6 in the morning. So my doctor comes and breaks my water. My contractions start. They higher up my doses of Pitocin, I think. And my contractions start, and it hurt so bad. Like, it hurt, but it feels like period cramps, but times 100. Like, it really hurts. and I was doing okay. Like, I was lasting. I was like, okay, let's see how far I can go. Well, at 6 centimeters dilated, I was like, oh hell no, like I need the epidural. Like, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I don't know how long it's gonna take before she comes, because as y'all know, like some labors, they can last like a day or like hours. Well, I was just like, well, let me get the epidural before it's too late, because I know there's a point where you can't get it anymore. So the doctor comes in with his like tray, and he tells me to turn around, and I'm on the bed, facing this way. The bed's like this. I'm the bed facing this way with my feet down. And the nurse comes, and I have to hug the nurse like on her belly and like put my head down and have my back stretched like that while he's in the back. And my mom was in the room with me, because you can have like one person in there to like watch you. Well, she was in the room with me, and my boyfriend had went to go get something or something like that. I was glad my boyfriend didn't stay in the room, because I feel like he would have made a noise when the needle came out, or like when the needle came in me, and it would have scared me. So I was glad my mom was in there, because she was just quiet. Well, it was really hard to stay still while I was while they're putting the needle in me, because of course the needle hurts. I don't know if y'all know, but the needle's fucking huge. Well, the needle hurts. On top of the needle hurting, I was having contractions. And the contractions were so bad that like my body was shaking, and you have to stay still, because then the needle's gonna hit you somewhere else. And it was just so painful. Like my tears, like teardrops just fell from my face, and I was just like squeezing on the nurse. Like, it hurt so bad. Well, after the epidural was in me, they laid me back down, and I want to say like 20 minutes in, my vision starts to fade out, because the epidural is like, the dosage is already coming inside my blood circulation. Well, my vision starts to fade out. I start to see like little white dots everywhere, and I can't breathe. Like, it's getting hard for me to breathe. And I'm telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I can't breathe. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't breathe. And I was like falling asleep. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out, Mom. Like, I was just sitting back there. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And I was telling my mom and my boyfriend. And then my heart rate starts to drop. All these nurses rush in, and they're surrounding me. They're checking me. They're checking my vitals. Apparently the dosage was too high for me, that I passed out for like a quick second. They had to come and put like a mask on me, and it was really, really scary. Like, my heart rate had slowed down, and yeah, it was just really scary. My boyfriend and my mom were like terrified, but sure enough, like, they put the mask on me, they lowered my dosage, and I was fine. Like, I was coming back to it, and I just remember being like, ugh, I need to do my makeup. So I tell my mom and my boyfriend, I'm like, Mom, like, can you get my makeup bag? And I had my boyfriend over here getting my eyelashes, and like, I have like a video of me doing my eyelashes, like, with the mask on, still barely coming back to it, still not being able to breathe like properly. But I needed to do my makeup, because I did not want to look busted while I was having her, because I know you could take pictures like right after. Well, I'll insert the videos of me just like putting my lashes on and, you know, doing all the jazz. Well, after that, I did my makeup, and I want to say 30 minutes after that, like, I was like, oh my god, like, I feel like I gotta go. Like, I feel like I gotta poop. And I told my nurse, because they said that when you feel like that, it probably means that she's ready to come out. So I told my nurse, and I was like, dude, I was hurting. So I was like, do you think we could hire do you think I could push the button to get myself more epidural? Like, and she was like, honestly, I wouldn't recommend it, since you feel like you're about to give birth. Like, you won't be able to feel yourself pushed. So don't push your button. And I was like, damn it. I was like, fuck it, this shit hurts. So I tell her that, and I think she checks me to see how dilated I am now. And at this point, I'm already like ready to go. So she calls my doctor, and my doctor's helping somebody else give birth. So I had to wait 30 minutes. And I was literally like, I was like trying to squeeze, like, to not pop her out onto the floor, because I felt like that's what was gonna happen. She was just gonna pop out onto the floor. So I'm over here holding her in, and my nurse comes in 30 minutes later, just, you know, all just taking her time, like if this baby's not gonna pop out of me. So anyways, so then they're like, boyfriend and your mom, come here, you're gonna help give delivery. Well, my boyfriend's holding my leg. I'm gonna use her leg. They're holding my leg like this, right? And they're pushing it all the way up. And I'm holding my legs like this. So they're pushing my legs up from both sides. And they're like, okay, so we're gonna count. You're gonna breathe in, count to 10. Whenever there's contractions, you breathe out, count to 10, and you push. Well, 15 minutes, I took me 15 minutes to have her pushing. And she came out, and I held her, and I have a picture, so I'll insert it. Don't mind my double chin. So I held her for the first time, and this is my next question. It's, how did you feel when you held her for the first time? Well, during labor, I started to tear up because it was so emotional. And then when I held her, I was like, oh my God, like, this is really real. Like, this is my baby. Like, this is my baby. It's like a feeling you never ever felt before. Like, this is your own little human being that you waited for 9 months. Like, she's in your arms now. It's crazy. And I was just like, whoa, like, what the heck? So I was just holding her, and she was just a little swollen. She looks so different from when, like, the day I had her, and she's 3 weeks now. So that was crazy, holding her for the first time. The next question was, were there any complications and did you tear? So there was no complications throughout my pregnancy. Throughout my labor either, there was no complications. I did tear, but I only had 1 degree tears on top and bottom. So it wasn't like a huge tear, like it was just like a couple stitches. Since I had the epidural, I did feel the stitches, but it didn't hurt. I just felt somebody tugging on my skin. I also had a hematoma, which means like a vein in one of my vagina like sides. One of them popped, like a vein in there. And my thing got big, like it got huge. And it was swollen, and they didn't know until afterwards. They had took me to another room and they examined me down there because they check if you're like bleeding properly. So they examined me down there and it was swollen, and so they had to take care of me. I had to stay an extra day, and it didn't heal until I want to say 2 weeks later. It didn't heal, like it didn't go completely down until 2 weeks later. So it really hurt. I wasn't allowed to sit up. I wasn't allowed to I was only allowed to lay down like flat on the bed, because if not, it was gonna like swell up more. And if it does swell up more, they have to like do immediate surgery and like drain it, and that could be dangerous. Excuse me. So that was like my only complication was my hematoma. And well, the epidural, like I didn't really feel a lot of pain as much as I would have if I didn't have the epidural. But I feel like because my dosage, I feel like because I couldn't handle the dosage, that I could feel more of the pain because I had to lower my dosage. Maybe if I didn't have that reaction, then I wouldn't have been able to feel it at all. I don't know, really, but I'm only guessing that's why, that I could feel more pain while I was giving birth. So yeah, my support system was my boyfriend and my mom while I was there. So the day she was born, the coronavirus had shut down the hospitals, because this next question says, how did corona affect you in this time? Well, on March 12th is when they stopped allowing visitors to come see their patients. It was only one person. It was actually 2 people at a time. And then an hour passed and it was only one person, which was the dad. Only the dad was allowed to stay. So my parents came and saw her while I was still in the delivery room. His parents came and saw her while we were still in the living room, and his sister and my uncle. After that, they only allowed the dad to stay. So my mom had left, and they said that no patients were allowed to have visitors after that. So it was just me and my boyfriend for the first nights of her life in there. And I know like a lot of people have their mom stay or like their dad stay, and that's like, it helps them because they're so tired. Like me and him didn't get any rest. So it was my mom and my boyfriend, and then my boyfriend for majority of the time I was in the hospital. He was just there to support me and to like tell me it's okay because you're so tired. And then my next question is, are you breastfeeding? Yes, I'm breastfeeding, and I'm only breastfeeding. In the hospital, they gave me an option to breastfeed and formula so I could get more rest and they could take care of her. I told them no because I really want her to be only breastfed. It is really hard, but I really wanted to do it because it's healthier for her. So I was so tired. Like, when they're newborns, they eat like a lot. They eat every 2 hours or so. And breastfeeding, like, you have to stay awake. It takes longer because they're barely learning to latch on, and their stomachs are smaller, so they get fuller faster, and then they poop, and then they get full again, and then they poop, and then it's just a freaking cycle. So I was tired, and I just remember staying up like the whole night. I would like every night I would stay up, and I just couldn't sleep. I don't know. I was just watching her do her little thing. So she got hungry, so I had to get her a bottle. But this is breast milk. Like I was just saying, I do breastfeed. I highly recommend pumping and trying to save the milk that you pump while feeding her at the same time. Like try to save some for later. But yeah, pumping is really good because when you're busy, you could just hand her over to your baby daddy or her grandparents or anybody like that. They could just feed her while you're busy. Well, anyways, this leads into how my body is healing and how my body is after birth, which is the next questions. My body's healing really well. I'm wearing a faja. I highly recommend wearing a faja because it reshapes your body. I lost a lot of my belly in these past 3 weeks. The first day out, I looked like I was 4 months pregnant, and now my belly is almost flat. But I do have to give a lot of credit to breastfeeding. Breastfeeding does help, like I said. It helps you lose weight as well. But yeah, I highly recommend the faja. Oh, and my hematoma did go down because of the faja as well. But yeah. And then the last and final question is it hard adjusting to having a baby with you? Well, at first, yes, in the hospital it was very hard. It was very tiring. Like I said, I didn't really sleep. But when I came home, I gradually got the hang of it. I still don't really sleep just because I'm very anxious about her breathing. So like I like to watch her when she sleeps. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a first time mom, but I like to watch her when she sleeps to make sure she's okay. And I just love to have her around. I'm always talking to her. I'm always looking at her. I'm always like just hanging out with her. It's really fun. It's like I was meant to have her. I felt like I was missing a piece of myself before having her, and now I feel complete with her here with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I just really love having her around. And she's just a little chunky monkey. All she does is eat, sleep, and poop, and pee. And now she'll do more, and I can't wait to see her grow up, and I don't know what she's gonna be like, and how her voice is gonna be, and it's just really cool. Crazy. She's already changed so much since the first day she was born. She looks completely different. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just really love having her around. And I think that's the end of all my questions. Well, not all the questions, but majority of the questions that y'all asked me. And well, if you like this video, just go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below. I am new to this. It's my first like serious video. I did one before, but it was a wreck. Don't even try to search it up. I think I deleted it. But yeah, So comment, like, subscribe. Y'all can follow me on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, at Baby Alexis on Twitter, and then Mommy Alexis on Instagram. And she has an Instagram called Baby Mia. Y'all can go ahead and find her page and follow her. But lastly, I do want to be careful out there with the, coronavirus. How Cardi B says it. Stay safe, stay inside. Me and Mia want to go outside one day. She has not gone anywhere. So stay home, be careful, and flatten the curve, I don't know what to say. But sending all my prayers out to the people that are sick. Hope y'all get better. Bye.